This is a tutorial for Accent Pro 2. So Accent Pro 2 is designed to use with Blender 5.0 and previous versions up to a certain point, obviously. But we developed Accent Pro 2 to accommodate users who wanted a minimal interface, because there's other software out there that is a little bit more complicated and complex and can do a whole lot more. But Accent Pro is designed to be minimal on the interface so as to allow a quicker workflow. So let's go ahead and get started. What we'll do is bring up Blender. And in this particular case, we're using Blender 4.5.5, even though, as we mentioned, Accent Pro is designed and developed to work with Blender 5.0, and probably a couple of other versions past that. But right now we're going to use version 4.5.5 LTS, long-term support, and we'll get started. We're going to keep the normal cube that we have in the Blender interface, and we're going to go ahead and switch to edit mode, and we'll subdivide that really quickly, and then turn on to selecting faces. Now, obviously we can still select a lot of different things without having to select faces, but such as the edges and the vertices. But in this particular case, we're just going to use the faces just to demonstrate how it operates. Let's go ahead and install the plugin. We can go to Edit, Preferences, and then select where the plugin is located. And once the plugin is installed, as we can see, there's not much else in here to be able to adjust, so it's very simple. We'll go ahead and close this, and it appears over here under Accent Pro. And as we can see, the interface is fairly simple, but a little complexity just because we need that flexibility and power. So as we can see, not many buttons. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and select some faces. And add a layer, name that layer, and add those selected faces to that layer. And we'll notice that as soon as we add the selected faces to that layer, it counts how many faces we've added to the layer. So let's go ahead and do that for 2 more layers. And we're going to do something interesting with this layer. We'll call it the left layer, but we'll go ahead and add a little bit more to that layer. And so now we have the ability to do various things with these layers. So first of all, we can hide specific layers. We'll go ahead and deselect all in this particular case. We can hide specific layers. We can also solo select a specific layer. And by toggling this, we can deselect that layer. Or it selects as many layers as we choose. But now we notice something here. There's an alert that happens. And that alert means that one of these layers shares faces with another layer. That's not necessarily a bad thing. So in specific, if we want to model something, for example, and we know that we want this particular layer to show, and to show these 2 polygons with it, these 2 faces with it, then that may be on purpose. So that's why we didn't cause that to be an error, because that may be a modeling preference. But that just alerts us that another layer shares faces. So that's what that's for. But it's not necessarily an error, depending on if that's what we want to do. And so we have the ability to remove faces from a specific layer. In this case, from this layer, we want to remove these 2 faces. And now this layer no longer has those faces, as we can see. Or we can go ahead and create another layer. And we'll add the faces to that layer, or we can clear the layer altogether and then remove the layer if we don't need it. So that's basically how this operates. Now we can also step through the layers, and this is what this button is for. If we drag this out a little bit, we can see that it says step through layers, which allows us to solo each specific layer. And then we can toggle all, which hides all the layers at once, or shows all the layers at once. So those are our features for this area. Now let's take a look at the box here that says presets. What this means is that we can save a show or hide configuration and load it back as a preset. So this allows us a little bit more flexibility when being able to model, because now we have a preset function that shows the specific layers that are on or off. And we can demonstrate this by going ahead and creating a preset. We'll turn specific layers off, and we'll save that as a preset. And this indicates the preset has been saved. Now we'll go ahead and create another preset and turn specific layers on or off. We'll save that as a preset. And now all we have to do is load the previous preset that gives us the configuration that we want. And of course we can delete the presets if we need to, or clear the preset if we need to. So Accent Pro is designed to be quick, it's designed to be non-complex, non-cluttered, and not to interfere with the workflow of the artist, and we hope you enjoy it.